Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Music is My Mantra. Today, I have a very special guest. Sophia Torrini is joining us. Sophia is a certified clinical EFT practitioner, hacking reality expert, and neuro change solutions consultant trained under Dr. Joe Dispenza. With a background in public health and trauma-informed care and neuroscience, she helps individuals rewire their brains, release emotional blocks, and step into their most empowered selves. Sophia is the founder of Tap Into Your Best Self, where she blends evidence-based techniques with quantum tools to guide transformational healing. She also has a course, Change Your Mind, Create New Results. She empowers clients to break through anxiety, self-sabotage, and limiting beliefs. So, welcome to the show, Sophia.
Thank
I'm
you.
so excited to have you on today.
Thank you very much for having me, and it's an honor to be on your show.
Thank you. Well, I have talked about Dr. Joe Dispenza on the show. I had an episode that was titled Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Oh, excellent.
And I just think his story is so fascinating, but even more so is the practical things that you can do for yourself to help change your life, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so we get to have you on
Yeah.
our show today and tell us a little bit about how you got started. How did you find EFT?
I was like everybody else, having ups and downs,
Hmm.
climbing the corporate ladder. And there was a stressful situation that I didn't know how to handle it. And while I was in survival, I made a wrong decision. Well, I didn't make a wrong decision. I didn't express myself fully to protect myself.
Mm.
And I followed the advice of the medical establishment to do an exploratory surgery where it almost cost me my life.
Oh my gosh.
So I spoke up, but I couldn't stand into my power because I had enough medical knowledge. And I ended up being 23 days in the hospital, not expected to live.
Wow.
But after I left, I had tons of health ailments. So I went in being super healthy with just experiencing pain and then coming out and my organs are not working. And that went on
Oof.
and off for 16 roughly years. So I would get treatments. I took treatments outside of New York, where I live,
Hmm.
and it was always a patch. So every so often there was a recurrence and it was nonstop, and I wasn't happy.
Yeah,
And
that's so scary.
yeah, and I found Dr. Joe's work and I felt very empowered, but I had a problem. I couldn't master my emotions. I didn't even know what these emotions were. So I had read all the books 5 times inside out.
Mm.
And I could barely even meditate. I mean, I would do the whole hour and a half, but I'd be in my head. And I said to myself, I heard him talk about EFT. It was a old YouTube video where he endorsed the EFT. And I said, I had heard about it. I said, EFT is ridiculous. Who on earth would want to do EFT? Just tapping on yourself just relieves these emotions. Anyway, to make a long story short, I started having EFT sessions for myself and I started changing. Within 18 months, I was healed.
Wow.
And certain belief systems I had were falling away. And, I moved forward, went backwards, but the key point, I never, even if I had symptoms or went backwards, I was never back on those medications.
That's amazing.
And that's when I realized what Joe says. You have to master your thoughts and you master your emotions. His word is you master your emotions, you master your creations. And then I saw how that could work, but I thought only for myself. And it came time, where did I want to go back to work? And I'm like, I can't go back to the system that made me sick. And I said, who on earth wants to be an EFT practitioner? And my practitioner says, why don't you just take the course for yourself? She
Yeah.
must have known how stubborn I was. I said, okay. So I wasn't taking the test. Why didn't you just take the test? So I passed the test. So I said, let me just try. I was going through the certification process and I said, let me just try to see if this would work. So I got one client and then I got a second. And when I literally saw the clients were changing,
Mm.
that's when I made the decision. That was the turning point.
Because
I
you
knew
could
for,
see that you were helping them to get the same results that you
yes,
got to
yes,
experience.
yes.
That is so
And the funny
awesome.
part, some of them were doing better than me. So when I got stuck, I said, the student is better than the teacher.
Oh, wow.
I said, if the student has motivated, how on earth I'm going to give up now?
Yeah, yeah. That is
So
so cool. So when you first heard, well, for our listeners out there, maybe you can break down what EFT is.
I
Yeah,
will. So
cool.
I do clinical emotional freedom techniques, which is a combination of cognitive psychotherapy and tapping on the body's meridians, the acupuncture points. So you're actually, it's like doing acupuncture without needles. So you're addressing the personality by verbalizing it,
Mm,
and you're feeling your emotions to release the emotional charge. Let's discuss what diseases or what stuck patterns are. So we
yes.
have three brains. We have the neocortex, the limbic brain, and the cerebellum. The limbic brain is the emotional brain. We call it the mammalian, the reptilians, the emotional, I should say,
Okay.
where it's the seat of the autonomic nervous system. So that's where your health is dependent.
That's where like
And
all of our
autonomic,
stress is, right? The nervous
yes,
system, all of our sleeping habits, everything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Autonomic means automatic.
Okay.
And what happens is all emotions have a chemical signature. So when the brain, because of a thought or a stress in the environment, there's a thought, then it's going to release some neuropeptides and the hormones get activated, and then the emotion is going to come into the bloodstream and it's going to go to a particular organ.
Mm,
That emotion carries information. As children, we were not able to feel that emotion. So that, and so it gets stored in the body because it's information for you to have later on, or even
mm,
at that moment.
yeah.
What happens is when you keep on piling up those information and the low frequency emotions become toxic. Now the cells, it causes an imprint, it causes a density. That's why low frequency motions feel heavy.
Hmm.
And now the communication between cells is getting disrupted, and it's the cells are not replicating or not doing a proper copy. It's like doing a poor photocopy, and then the message gets disrupted.
Mm,
So
lighter or
that's,
disappears or just doesn't
yeah,
translate at all.
that's correct. So our
Mhm.
job is to feel our emotions, but we have not been trained to feel them, and the bodily sensations are very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what to do, and we keep on pushing them down. Now there's the law of thermodynamics that says energy can never be created or destroyed, can only be transmuted. So
Hmm.
imagining having 50 horrible experiences where you didn't feel them and they're poisoning your body. And the worst part, when they're super traumatic experiences, that memory gets replayed, whether you remember it or not, whether you think you're thinking about it, in your hippocampus, which is why people at night can't sleep, which is why when there's a similar trigger, they immediately get activated and they don't feel well. So that's actually what happens. So once we release these emotions, we can transmute them to higher frequency. Now the body gets at ease because all disease is a lowering of frequency. The
Mm.
body is not at ease, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're working with somebody, is it mostly for when, like, who's your ideal client? Are they people who have mostly have these physical ailments, or are they more emotional? Because I know I've seen the use of EFT could really be used for anything, right? Like
It is. So,
finding a new healthy
mhm.
relationship to, yeah, like healing actual physical things like you mentioned.
I have both.
Yeah.
So I have people who were traumatized, having unfortunate sexual assaults and stuff, which as a result end up getting disease. I have a few healthy clients, but there's something happening in their relationship or it's a job promotion that
Mm,
they can't get.
yeah.
And then occasionally I get, and they're usually young, I get the people who has the panic attacks.
Mm,
And those, when they're very young, they can heal very fast. It just doesn't even take a long time. And
mm.
I've had some youngsters, 15, 16,
Okay.
that for whatever reason are super healthy but have all these fears. And I think I've had once or twice some older, a younger person. So it's a variety, a gamut of people, and all of them benefit. So I have not seen anybody get bad because of EFT.
Yeah. Cool. So when you are working with somebody, do you also encourage them to meditate, or is it more just focused on the EFT itself and going
Okay,
through that
I do
process? Yeah.
actually a couple of things.
Uh-huh.
They, first of all, they have to tap in between their sessions. What's the purpose of coming to me once or twice a week and
Yeah.
you went haywire? So
Mm.
I train them how to tap.
On their own.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. A good EFT practitioner is best that they train the person, because if
Mm.
it's 5 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
and there's this physical pain, I need to give them tools. So
Mm. That's
I
good.
don't advise them to work on their trauma, but anything else, they are fully trained how to tap.
Yeah.
Uh,
Trauma, they need your support
yeah,
probably.
the
Yeah.
mind that created it cannot solve it. So they need someone to look at it differently, because they're
Okay.
caught into the trauma loop and they replay the memory.
Mm.
So we never want the client, even in the tapping session, to actually physically describe. This is a perfect example. I
Okay.
had a person who was assaulted,
Mm.
sexually assaulted by her brother.
Oof.
We went to the 6 year old, but I didn't ask for details.
Yeah.
I only wanted the emotion and the belief, and we worked around it and around it and around it, she till she was empowered,
Mm.
and then do whatever physical action she needed in the hologram to push the person away, and do whatever it is. Now
Mm.
she feels empowered without her describing me the gory
Yeah.
details, because
Yeah.
now she's going to replay it in her mind.
Mm.
So that we don't want to do.
So yeah, you're really just helping to process the body's reaction.
That's correct. And so I usually start him on some simple meditation within a couple of weeks. And then for the first several sessions, I give them some homework exercises. So I give them the Cartesian coordinate questions. I get a timeline.
Mm.
So really, I give them some added work for them to find the patterns, because it's all about patterns, right? So
Mm.
whatever we're experiencing later in life is
Yeah.
because beliefs that we acquired from the first trimester till about 7, sometimes it goes till about 13. And
Mm.
that's what we keep on replaying in our lives.
And so those questions, do you have them journal or are they just for them to reflect on so that when you meet the next time?
They write them, and I ask for them to send me the cognitive shift. When it's the
Mm.
timeline, I actually need to see physically the timeline
Hmm.
to see patterns. And if the person is having an illness, I use meta consciousness or German new medicine, they're almost the same, to find out what the condition is. I'll give you a perfect example. A
Okay.
female
Yeah, I'm
who
like, what is
gets,
that?
yeah, a female who gets right breast cancer
Hmm.
usually has a nest, and what we call a nest conflict. So a right-handed woman is going to hold her baby this way with her left hand and
Uh-huh.
puts the child this way.
Okay.
So if something happens to the child dies. Or because in the nest, it could be a partner. The
Mm.
partner, the husband leaves her, and the person doesn't know how to process it, she will get right breast cancer.
Interesting.
Someone, which is what happened to me before the surgery, I got a diagnosis that I wasn't going to live. As soon as I came out of the surgery, I had full-blown pneumonia, which I didn't have before,
Mm.
and my lungs collapsed. Why? Because I got a death threat, and it was so imminent. I even didn't have, like, I had half an hour, not even half an hour to process it, and I went under. So As soon as I came out of surgery, I was in ICU, even though there was nothing wrong with me with my lungs before.
So, can you explain that a little bit more? When you say that you got a death threat, it's like them telling you
That
that
I'm not
you're
going to live.
right. That made your body go into panic mode. Is that sort of
That
how I would say?
so when it's threat for life
Yeah.
and you feel powerless, the first organ that goes down is the
Hmm.
lungs. That's why the majority of people during COVID had respiratory issues.
Interesting.
So each and there these are called biological tracks, and each track, like for example,
Hmm.
also asthma is fear for life. That's why
Mm,
the person has breathing. Now,
mm.
asthma in children, it's mostly the parent. If it's
Reflecting the parents' fears.
That's correct. And if
Wow.
you know what the condition is, then we can look it up, and now you can find the pattern, which memories
Hmm.
or what memory caused that to activate this biological track. It's like your body giving you an alarm system, and now
Yeah.
you can heal versus going blind. Well, I have breast cancer, but I don't know what it is. Now when the emotional component is healed and transmuted, according to German medicine, meta consciousness, the body automatically doesn't need the biological track to be running, so the person heals. But the person has to make the connection and heal the emotion.
That is fascinating. My mind went to what about something like ADHD? Is that something that can be healed through?
Absolutely. So, attention deficit disorder, I don't remember the details according to German medicine, but I could look it up. But
Hmm.
usually there's an overload and it's more than one conflict. So, things in the
Mm.
brain
Yeah.
tend to be both hemispherical conflicts. So we look it up, and then as long so that you have two added. I'll give you a perfect example,
Okay.
which is a double conflict.
Okay.
Bulimia nervosa is not. It is two conflicts, has to do with identity and
Hmm.
territory threat. And
Mm.
the reason, and now it's two different behaviors that are happening constantly at the same time. So the person ends up in a compulsive. So they're
Mm.
trying to digest reality, to
Yeah.
digest something, and then immediately they have to throw it out because the secondary track is running. So
Mm.
even attention deficit disorder is some emotional overload. Don't quote me on this because I don't remember, but
Yeah.
probably two conflicts
Yeah.
instead of one.
Okay. Interesting. So if they're layered, then yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the mind jumps from place to place probably because
Yes, and
there's
then
too much to
there's so
process.
confusion, and then the
Yeah.
brain can't operate. It's like a computer. So imagine
Yeah.
your body as a computer and
Mm.
being constantly overloaded. So that's really how it boils down. Another a typical example, which is very common,
Hmm.
is digestion.
Okay.
So constipation
Yeah.
is not able to digest and process what is happening in your life. So you're holding on to this
Mm.
anger, you're not letting it go, and nothing is moving in your outer world in your life.
Yeah.
And you're ruminating. So now nothing's going to move.
Inside. Yeah.
Now, let's say diarrhea.
Okay. Or like both, right?
It could be both. So, yeah,
IBS kind of goes between the two.
yes. So if you're having diarrhea, what's coming through, you don't want or you're unable to
Hmm.
process. So it could be advice given to you or something given to you,
Hmm.
and you don't want to hear it because you don't want to look at yourself. So you're going to immediately get rid of it. You're
Mm.
either going to vomit it out or you're going to be running to the bathroom right
Hmm.
away because you do not want this new information. Our job is to get the information, process it, and let it go. So let's assume this is information I don't want to hear. You said to me, you know what, Sophia? Instead of being in your head and doing all these courses, why don't you see what it is that's triggering you every day not feeling good enough? So, but I may not want to feel that I'm not good enough because there's traumatic memories where I was. So I immediately get angry and I
Or
said,
like admit that you don't feel good enough. Because,
it's
yeah.
not so much the admitting, it's wanting to,
Okay.
yeah, to yes,
Acknowledge it.
acknowledge and
Okay.
feel.
Mm.
So I would have to look to see what experiences and sit with that horrible emotion to transmute it. So the person who would have diarrhea would just immediately overreact. Here again, you're telling me I'm not this. And I didn't even hear what you said. You're telling me that I'm doing something wrong and I need to slow down. And why should I be slowing down? I'm just reading and reading so I can get this. Well, it's
Yeah.
not about getting this, it's about embodying it. So the constipation person is, you're giving me something and I can't believe she said it. What she said is so rude. This is not true. I am so angry. How dare she says that to me? And I keep on ruminating, holding on,
Mm.
repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. So two sides of this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they do kind of go together in that
Yes.
sense. Like you can flip flop from one to the other,
Yes.
right? Or I could see where you repel it, but then you're still ruminating on it after.
Yes. That's correct. And the upper bloat in the upper part, if it's a big, big bloat on the upper part of the abdomen, it's usually rage that you don't want to feel or
Mm.
anger that you don't want to feel.
So let's just keep going with this analogy. I mean, this is definitely something that I've experienced in real life, so it's not
We all
that
have.
far from me.
And you're living on planet Earth. I mean, this
Yeah.
is the roughest
To
time to live. You're kidding me?
totally, totally. So if I'm experiencing this and I'm like, all right, I want to work through this, then I would go back to the thoughts of that feeling and try to remember like what was the trigger
The
initially.
first thing to do is you
Yeah.
have to acknowledge what you're feeling. The
Okay.
first, what am I feeling? Allow to observe it, breathe into it, and don't want it to go away. That's the
Mm,
first step. See if you can transmute this as much as you want without any stories.
mm,
So just say, okay, what is it that I'm feeling right now in order to have experienced the situation? I'm just feeling angry in my stomach. Okay. So we acknowledge that.
mm-hmm,
Now, if there's an event in the current time, we can clear it. But if it's like a self-devaluation belief and it
mm-hmm.
didn't happen in the now, you can ask it, okay, where is this message coming from? From what age is it coming from? Why am I not feeling good enough?
Yeah.
Because you might say back to me, I didn't say you weren't good enough. Now, if I'm in the diarrhea situation, I won't even hear it. But let's assume miracles happen and I heard it. Then I'd say, okay, she didn't say that. So how come I got triggered? So whose voice am I listening? Or when did this happen? Or how old was I? And
Yeah.
now you can start trailing and finding it.
So when does the tapping come in then?
Oh, this is if you were doing it without tapping. So if you were
Oh,
doing
okay.
the tapping, we do the tapping right away. I get from
Okay.
the person, what is it that you're feeling?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you feeling it? What is in the intensity? And what is the belief? So we clear all that. Now, if this
Mm,
is a recurring theme, then I ask you, let's find a version of you in time that had that. So it could have been, oh, I have a perfect example of a client.
okay.
She got 100 on the test and the father wanted to get her 120, which wasn't possible. So she's been programmed she wasn't good enough. So
Uh,
instead of her saying, congratulations, you did great,
yeah.
says you should have gotten 120. It doesn't even physically make sense. Now imagine a young child having a couple of those repeated experiences.
Yeah.
So we went back in time, however old, and the child felt I'm not good enough. But she also, a child usually feels not loved. When the parent rejects,
Yeah.
so we cleared that version of it. Now I do re-imprinting as well. So I go back and rewrite the memory. It's
Okay.
called hacking reality. Why?
Okay.
Because traumatic memories are stored between the hippocampus, not the
Mm,
neocortex. So they keep on replaying there. What we want to do is remove the emotional charge from the memory.
mm-hmm.
And then I want to put in place an empowered picture. a different one only after the emotional charge and the belief is neutralized.
Okay.
So if the person starts to replay the new memory,
Mm-hmm.
which is empowering, and my parent was happy and I got congratulated, the old synaptic connection is going to prune.
Mm-hmm.
That memory that was traumatic has moved to the neocortex. And if I keep on replaying the positive memory, it's going to fade away.
Can you explain a little more about this? Because I think it's so fascinating. Like, how can we just erase, or do we just, is it more of like a perspective shift that happens? Like, what's the,
The beginning, it's like so I had a very
yeah,
traumatic upbringing. The
okay.
memories are have started to fade.
Mm,
It feels as if it wasn't me who went through them. And at some point, they're going to be completely gone. So let's take an analogy of a computer.
okay.
You're wanting to delete some software. So basically, that's what we're doing with EFT. We're trying to delete software, and then we're cleaning and cleaning all the files associated with the software and all the directories with it.
Yeah.
And then we reinstall a new software. Now,
Okay.
on the physical body, to reinstall a new software,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't just put in a USB and install the software.
Right.
What installs the software is the thoughts and the emotions and mental rehearsal. So that's what installs the new software.
Okay. So the memory is still there, but the feeling and the rehearsal is gone, or
The memory, first of all,
yeah.
lost its emotional charge.
Yes.
The traumatic memory moved from the hippocampus to the neocortex. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
If I asked you, Courtney, what did you eat 10 days ago at 2 o'clock? You can't remember.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, so now if you were to ask me certain stuff about my traumatic memories because I've worked on them,
Hmm.
they're getting foggy. I don't really remember.
Okay.
And then over that doesn't happen overnight, it happens over a period of time.
Hmm.
There is a little work. We have to make sure the memory is completely neutral. So if the person were to replay it in their head, there is no charge at all. There's no somatic charge anywhere. Not because they blocked it,
Hmm.
because they've distanced themselves. And now, if you keep on rewriting a new memory, what you're physically doing, and I hope your audience can grasp that, you're moving to a parallel timeline.
So, what does that look like if I'm rewriting a new memory? Is that like just having more positive experiences that are related to that initial
Okay,
memory,
so
or
let's
yeah,
assume you were traumatized and you weren't empowered, so you
yeah.
would never speak up.
Okay.
Let's just make up that
That's
story.
that I feel like is a very common thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we had 10 memories of that nature.
Mm,
We cleared that. We re imprinted memories where you're speaking up, you feel empowered. We
yeah.
always do have to take action in real life. So we
Okay.
just don't stay in our heads.
But it's like thinking back to the more empowering memory as opposed to
That's
the
correct.
person that told us we didn't
Well, you
weren't big
can't
enough or
go to
whatever it was.
yes, you won't eventually be going to the person not speaking up because you're going to have a reframe.
Mm,
You know what? I survived that horrible experience and now I'm speaking my truth, maybe.
yeah.
Right?
And,
Okay.
and so that's the action part is that where we made the change in real life
We made the change, but
or
maybe
in
you're
time.
applying for an interview too. Now
Okay.
you're afraid to ask for a raise, where before you'd zip it up.
Yeah.
So we rewrite the memories, and now the universe is going to test you. So you're going to do some mental rehearsal, and eventually you speak up. Once you've spoken up a couple of times,
Uh-huh.
that old track is gone permanent.
I could see that for sure. Actually, that is in a nutshell my own personal journey over the past 2 years for.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. With certain people, I think we might have more emotions tied to them through history or experiences. So for me, I thought that I had already stepped into this new bold persona. And I think that this really was a test to be like, well, have you really? Like,
Yeah.
let's show you the scariest person we can think of, you know? I think I passed.
Okay, good. So I'll
So,
address that because
yeah.
that's called to choose again. But I want to clear something because a lot of people fall trap, and
Okay.
there's some teachings like the law of attraction that say you can only think positive. That
Mm,
is doing very much harm to the individual.
okay.
You are a physical magnet.
Hmm.
You're like a Wi-Fi signal.
Hmm.
So if the energy is not felt and transmuted,
Yeah.
that stays in the body.
Mm,
So there's a lot of spiritual bypass and say, just go into the high vibration, just visualize
mm,
yourself out. And
yeah.
let's assume you're completely broke.
Yeah.
Something has happened, and you're saying, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. It's not going to your brain, passing your brain stuff, but the further part you're going to end up feeling worse because now you're going to feel a failure because everybody's doing the law of attraction and it's working for them
Mm,
and nothing is working for you.
yeah.
And since you're in the music, I want to make this analogy.
Hmm.
Why is it not? So how do we measure vibration? We measure it as a wave,
Yep.
right? And we know if two waves are in sync,
Hmm.
just in sync, not the same amplitude, they're going to be higher, right? They're
Yeah.
where the apex is. If two of them have a similar, it's going to rise up.
Hmm.
But when you have a wave and then the other wave where the apex is the valley is, and where the valley is the apex is for the second one, they're going to cancel out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a struggle. And what does that mean in your outer world? Nothing's changing because
Mm.
you have two opposing forces pushing to move forward, and you, Courtney, are pushing me to go back.
Yeah.
So I may go a little bit here because I might be stronger for a second, and then you push me back again, and
Mm.
pretty much I'm in limbo. So go ahead and ask the question that you had because I interrupted you. Had a question there.
Oh, I'm not sure that this question is what I was going to ask, but I have a different question now. So, when you're working with somebody or training, teaching your clients, when when do you use the tapping and when do you just use the other method that we spoke about?
Oh, you mean the rewriting the memories and the stuff?
Yeah.
I offer that to all the clients. I
Okay.
combine them
So
all
it all
together.
just works together.
Yes,
Yeah.
I work them all together. I connect them to their future self. I connect them to the past self. I do it all and I give a small little teaching. So I don't do traditional EFT anymore. I need to give them tools so they can sustain themselves between the sessions.
Well, I know I've done some EFT and it's definitely helped. And it does feel funny because it's like, what, like, how can this work? Like, it just seems like magic almost, you know? And it also seems like, what am I doing? But
Yeah,
it works. I don't know. I was doing it on the beach at one point, just sitting on the strand with my eyes closed and I'm kind of going through it. And this guy came up to me and I could just like feel his presence, you know? So I opened my eyes and I see him like right next to me and he's like, "Good job." Like, "I love that. I love that." And I was like, "Okay, thanks." Like
that's nice. You got
but
confirmation there.
yeah, it was pretty funny. So, when you're tapping on the meridians and stuff, do you think that that tool is like you said you don't do it all the time, right? Right? So,
No, the
like,
tapping I do all the time.
oh, you do. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I
Okay.
do it all the time. I said if you wanted to do something without tapping. No, the
Then you
tapping,
can. Okay.
yes, you
So they're
can. I
both
do.
like equally. Yeah.
No, I prefer the tapping. It moves it faster.
Mm.
Imagine this emotion has
Hmm.
densified and it's become like a rock. So your hand is your hammer trying to break the rock to move through. So the physical tapping does a significant difference because there's a second reason.
Okay.
Let's assume, from the book that you read, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself,
Hmm.
the body doesn't know the difference between a real life experience or by thought alone.
Yeah.
So something, for whatever reason, is causing me anxiety. All of a sudden, my heart is having the physical symptoms. I decided if I start tapping, there's not a possibility a tiger or danger would be here or a fire. So the physical act of tapping calms the body down.
Okay.
So if you want it to be more effective, adding the tapping always makes any other modality faster
Cool.
because it calms the brain. And you know from that book, our
Mm-hmm.
job is to slow down the brain waves.
Mm,
When you are in fear or anger, you're in high beta brain waves. That's
mm,
damaging your brain. That will definitely cause attention deficit disorder in
mm.
no time. The constant firing and wiring in the brain
Yeah,
is what's causing the problem. So the physical act of tapping with slow breathing is going to slow your brainwave down. And now the body can start to, you are taking action and creating a new normal for your life.
cool. So for our listeners out there, I can't just like demonstrate it, but could you like walk
Absolutely.
us through some of the tapping points?
Sure. I'll give them the whole recipe first
Okay,
and
cool.
then the tapping points.
Okay.
So the first thing we need to identify in what emotion am I feeling in the present moment? So let's say I was driving today and someone just cut me off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay. I have anger. Where is the anger? Oh, it's in my stomach. What's the event? This man, I'm driving, this idiot just cut me off.
Yeah.
So we have the emotion, the body part, and the event. We need to add something positive.
Okay.
Something, but most people say I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I don't put that for beginners.
Okay.
I will put something more neutral. Let's say it was fear. You definitely don't completely and deeply love yourself when you're in
Mm,
panic.
yeah.
So I will put, I acknowledge this is what I'm feeling, and I'm open to finding some peace.
I like that.
Your
Yeah.
body's easier to accept that.
Yeah.
And why do we put the positive? Because this is a wave. We want to start infusing a different frequency in the wave.
Yeah.
Remember the principle of entrainment? You have two strings and you pull one down further one, it's going to be the middle in between. It's the difference between.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to do here. So you're going to put that. And we measure the intensity. The reason we measure the intensity
Mm,
is we want to teach our brain that this is working. So
okay.
we see it's 8 before, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's a 1 when we finish. So now we're going to create our sentence. We always start with even though because
Mm-hmm.
we don't not want the negative events to stick in our reality.
Okay.
And we tap at the side of the hand in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
because that changes the polarity.
The karate chop point.
Yeah. So even though I'm so angry, while driving to Courtney today, this man cut me off. I can't believe he did it. What an idiot. He cut me off. How dare you? I acknowledge that I'm really angry in my stomach and I'm open to finding a place of peace. And you can do it any way you want it, but put all those ingredients. You do that 3 times.
Okay.
Now you can start doing the rest of the points. Now you put the emotion and the organ, this, and then anything that comes to you.
Uh-huh.
This anger in my stomach.
So tapping
This
the top
anger
of
in
the
my,
head.
yeah.
Yep.
What was this man thinking? He almost cut me off. I could have been killed. I'm so angry in my stomach.
Between the eyes.
Yeah. At the side of the eyes. I could kill him. I'm so angry.
Mm.
I am fuming. I'm angry in my stomach, under the eyes. It's so unfair. I don't know why this happens to me every time I drive. Where do these people get this? Their driving test. I'm so angry in my stomach thinking about what happened under the nose,
Huh.
under the chin. This is your thymus gland.
Just a
I
little.
do a little further up right here. Yeah. Or
Okay.
you can do the collarbone too.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Center of the
And
collar.
yeah. And then I do the ears. Why?
Mm.
Because you have tons of meridians. So it's around the ear,
Okay.
all of these ears. Excellent. And we're going to do this part here. This is where the bra is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
So this is, yeah, excellent. And under where the bra, the wire would be.
Okay. So
And this is your anger point, by the way.
like on the back or the front?
Just here,
Okay.
anywhere there. Doesn't. So this is your anger point here. So you do it under the bra.
Okay.
You do this. Excellent. Wrist points and the top of the wrist.
Oh, okay.
Why? Because we have lots of meridians. When you look at the meridian map, there's
Yeah.
tons of lines that come here. And we want to catch as many meridians. And by doing the sequence, you almost caught all of your meridians because they go around the body. Some of them start here and they go backwards. That's why we tap here. There's one that starts that way. And
Yeah.
now we got them all.
I do feel more centered.
Excellent. And
Cool. Yeah.
that's what we do. And we want to bring it down. As long as we bring it to a 2, not a 3, the
Mm,
body's regulated. So you cleaned most of it out. It's like cleaning your sewer.
mm,
You're just cleaning it out. And sooner or later, the body's going to feel safe,
yeah.
and every little thing is not going to trigger you anymore.
That's huge. That's huge. Yeah.
So you're rewiring your own brain. That's
Just
basically.
by processing these emotions through
And let's
tapping.
address a little bit the science. So
Okay.
there's been over 300 peer-reviewed clinical trials,
Hmm.
and they have shown that it downregulates six genes of stress,
Mm.
and one of them is cortisol. So you can downregulate a gene for disease, and you can upregulate a gene for health. And it's all in your fingertips. Now, isn't that great?
That is awesome. And it's so, like it's so accessible. Like
It
you said, it's
is.
in your fingertips. And it seems, is there a difference between speaking it out loud, the sentence that you create, versus saying it in your
Yes.
head? Okay.
So this reality is like plasma holographic reality. When you voice it out,
Hmm.
you propagate the wave. If you've noticed, when we were tapping on anger, I deliberately raised my voice.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it out of my system.
Yeah.
So the more you express it, and if you have to say it louder, it's actually better to speak it. Now, there are certain public situations where you can't do it.
Yeah.
So then you're going to do the secondary thing. You're going to do it in your head. But you have to voice. We were given the voice to speak.
Yes.
People who don't want to voice things or even express, they're eventually going to have usually thyroid issues or Hashimoto's issues.
Mm.
They have always some sort of thyroid issues or throat issues, I should say.
That was me as a child.
Okay.
But, I for me, singing is like such a release. And every time I do a warm up, I will have just a 10-minute sort of free flow of song and letting out whatever it is that I'm feeling. And I try to put them into words, but sometimes it's not even words, it's just
Mhm.
sounds.
Absolutely.
And I think that that is so cathartic. But, I don't always have a guitar or piano. And I think when you're actually using a sentence to be specific about what you're feeling and going through the steps that you just mentioned of where do I feel it in my body, that's like, it's like pinpointing. It is even more powerful, really. I mean, if you've never heard of EFT for our listeners, I would just give it a try, give this process a try,
So,
and, you know, try to let go of any expectations and just see, like you said, measure it from where you're feeling in that heightened emotion and then what happens after you go through the tapping points a few times. How often do or how long do you say would you recommend to tap
uh,
for?
I tap myself 20 minutes minimum a day,
Mm.
but I do still do 2 actual sessions with a practitioner,
Okay.
sometimes 2 or 1 a week for myself. And then, of course, I have clients that I tap, but I do want to clear my own accumulation.
Mm.
So I clear the little stuff by myself.
Yeah.
If I have to tap longer, I can. I did go through a big period of grief where I
Mm.
tapped a lot by myself. So it would
Yeah.
be long plus the extra sessions.
Hmm.
And eventually the grief moved. I think if
Mm.
it wasn't for the grief, I probably would have jumped off the tapping. I probably would have jumped off the window.
It's too,
So
yeah, a lot to
yeah, it was
handle.
too intense from this particular incident was too intense.
So your like your recommendation is 20 minutes if
Absolutely. Yeah.
okay.
You need a little bit of time for the body to regulate.
Mm.
So, the 5 minutes, might be good for a here or there, but you want to start retraining the body to feel safe.
Mm,
Remember, there's no tiger if you're typing, there's no fire if you're tapping,
yeah,
there's no true danger. And we want to rewire the brain to really make that second nature.
cool. Thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom and insight with us today. I have two more questions for you.
Yes.
So, the first question is, let's say that it is a work related thing,
Mhm.
but we don't think we have any real emotions tied to it. Like, what if I were to decide I'm going to commit to tapping? I'm going to try this 20 minutes a day for the next week or month or something like that.
So, what's the intention at
So,
the work situation?
maybe it's a belief thing. Like I want to improve my role, like to maybe to get the raise. Let's use that as an
Okay.
example.
Let me do a comment.
Okay.
All thought patterns,
Hmm.
all emotions, actually, all thought patterns have an emotion associated. One emotion holds many thought patterns. So I want to improve my skill set. There is a running program that says it's going to be too hard.
Mm,
Maybe if you do it, you're going to fail. But behind that, there's an emotion, always an emotion. So you ask yourself a couple of questions. The beginning, they might be all thought patterns,
mm,
but then you'll say, well, because I just don't think I'm capable, or
mm,
whatever it is.
yeah.
Or maybe it's I don't have time. And then you ask why, because I'm overwhelmed, or I can't still my mind, which is some version of overwhelm. So there's always around it. But if you can't figure it out,
Yeah.
start just tapping on the thought pattern and the emotion will show up.
Okay. That's interesting. I feel like I have seen other people use EFT for that sort of thing. And then when I think about something that I want, that seems to be a
Give me
common.
an example. Let's might as well demonstrate just
Okay,
to show
sure.
what's the desire?
One of my long-term desires has been recording, finishing a full-length album.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. And close your eyes,
Okay.
and you're about to record a full album. What is it in the body that you're feeling? Is there a knot anywhere in the body? Or let's say someone said to you, you know what, I will have you do X, Y, and Z if you can record a full album within 1 month. So when they say that, is there a knot or a discomfort anywhere in the body or a sensation?
It's kind of like I'm not ready.
Okay, so let's stay with that. Keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
Okay, how do you feel not being ready? How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel weak and out of control.
Weak and out of control.
Mhm.
So is there an, okay, so you already have the statement, I'm not ready, weak out of control. Where is the weak out of control in the body?
A little bit my stomach, lower
Stomach.
area. Yeah.
And if I were to ask you, and you may not have an answer for that,
Hmm.
is there a belief why you're not ready or why there's this weakness? Is there a belief? I don't have time, it's too much.
Yeah, I mean it right now it feels like time and money, like that the
Okay.
lack of both.
Okay, so you've entangled your whole story here to tap. And what's the
Okay.
intensity of this weakness in the stomach from 1 to 10?
Well, the longer I sit here, it's growing.
I know, because I'm deliberately keeping you with your eyes closed.
Yeah. So 1 to 10. 10 is like the
Yeah,
most.
it could be 10.
I'd say it's not a 10, but maybe like a seven,
Okay,
six or
so there
seven.
you go. So you would
Yeah.
tap, even though I have this weakness in my stomach,
No, I have this weakness in my
weakness in my
stomach.
stomach. I'm not ready
I'm not ready to record a
to
full album
help them right now.
right
There's
now.
not enough time and I don't have the money.
There's not enough time, and I don't have the money.
So I want you to breathe in your belly and your awareness on the discomfort, and you're not pushing it away. I acknowledge this is what I'm feeling.
I acknowledge this is what I'm feeling.
And I'm open to seeing things differently.
And I'm open to seeing things differently.
And even though
And even though
I feel weak in my stomach,
I feel weak in my stomach,
just thinking that I
just
have to record an album in a month, a full
thinking
album in a month.
that I have to record a full good album in a month.
I just feel so weak.
I feel so weak.
I don't have the time and I don't have the money.
I don't have the time and I don't have the money.
And this feeling is uncomfortable.
And this feeling is uncomfortable.
It's growing bigger by the minute.
It's growing bigger by the minute.
And I acknowledge this is what I'm feeling.
And I acknowledge this is what I'm feeling.
And I'm open to seeing things differently.
And I'm open to seeing things differently.
And
Even though
there's this weakness in my stomach
there's this weakness in my stomach
that I have to complete a full, good quality album within a month.
that I have to complete a full good quality album in a month.
I can't see how I'm going to do that.
Can't see how I'm going to do that.
Just the thought of it is weakening me in my stomach.
Just the thought of it is weakening me in my stomach.
I acknowledge this is what I'm feeling.
I acknowledge this is what I'm feeling.
And I'm open to finding a place of peace.
And I'm open to finding a place of peace.
Top of the head. I'm feeling weak.
I'm feeling weak.
I can't do this.
I can't do this.
I feel this weakness in my stomach.
I feel this weakness in my stomach.
I don't have time.
I don't have time.
Between the eyes. I don't have time. I can't do this.
I don't have time. I can't do this.
This is so uncomfortable for me.
This is very uncomfortable for me.
This weakness in my stomach.
This weakness in my stomach.
On the side of the eyes. But there's another part of me.
But there's another part of me
that's been wanting to do this album.
That's been wanting to do this album.
And here I am getting this opportunity.
And here I am getting this opportunity.
I just can't do it.
I just can't do it.
I won't do it.
I won't do it.
Because this is too much under the eyes.
Because this is too much.
I don't have the money. I don't have the time. Breathe in the belly and acknowledge that.
I don't have the money. I don't have the time.
What if this was based on old programming?
What if this was based on old programming?
Under the nose. I did the best I could given the circumstances in the past.
I've done the best I could given the circumstances in the past.
And there's another me who wants to emerge here.
And there's another me who wants to emerge here.
Wants to do this album.
Who wants to do this album.
It's a tiny little voice.
It's a tiny little voice.
On the chin. And I am tapping away the negative voice.
I'm tapping away the negative voice.
That opposite wave.
That opposite wave.
That says, I can't do it, I won't do it.
It says, I can't do it, I won't do it.
It's too much, I have no time.
It's too much, I have no time.
I'm going to nurture that new voice.
I'm going to nurture that new voice.
Around the years. I've read a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza stuff.
I've read a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza's work.
There's another me who's successful.
There's another me who's successful.
And that other me has done this album.
And that other me has done this album.
And has done a wonderful album.
And has done a wonderful album.
I can, the time is gone. I could just imagine this album.
I can imagine this album.
So imagine you are successful in this album, maybe feeling empowered, feeling grateful, or even relief or joyful, whatever it is, and feel it in, and give me what the word is. What is it that you're feeling?
Excitement.
I'm excited. I've done this album.
I'm excited. I've done this album.
I'm seeing what we can do by the bra on the side. I am seeing holding on to this weakness is not serving me.
I can see that holding on to this weakness is not serving me.
I choose to align.
I choose to align.
To this excitement.
To this excitement.
And I'm open to letting this weakness go.
And I'm open to letting this weakness go.
And I forgive myself for all my choices in the past.
And I forgive myself for all of my choices in my past.
I did the best I could given the circumstances.
I did the best I could given the circumstances.
On your wrist. I'm excited. I've done this album. People are congratulating me.
I'm excited. I've done this album and people are congratulating me.
And I am smiling.
I am smiling.
And I'm going to remember this.
I'm going to remember this.
Sooner or later, I'm going to get there. It's a matter of time.
Sooner or later, I'm going to get there. It's just a matter of time.
On the top of the wristbone, and you can say peace.
Peace.
And let's see how you're feeling. Did it at least drop? Let's check. But we want you to be honest. So take a breath first. Hold it. Blow it out with force as if you're blowing away this weakness in your stomach. And now tell me, how weak do you feel in your stomach from 1 to 10?
Yeah, I'd say it's a 3 or 4. It
Okay.
definitely, it was like tension and almost starting to get like queasy, and it's gone.
Okay. So you would
Yeah.
have to do another round.
Mm.
What I would have done is I would stay one more round completely on the negative, and I would have done
Mm.
this as a second round. The only reason I did the positive, I wanted to show the audience that you can twist it to the positive and start now practicing the
So
new.
I definitely felt it shift.
Oh, you
Yeah.
were a good participant. You were honest and you were transparent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was that was unexpected, but I think it's cool. It's a until you see it, it is kind of confusing, but it really is that
Yes,
simple. I think it's just getting the formula in the sentence, and like you said, that structure of naming it, identifying it,
absolutely.
that is really crucial, it seems like. So,
Absolutely. And then when people have the experience of hacking reality, then they really see the difference. So they really, or they connect with their future selves. If we had time, I'd take you to the future where I would actually physically connect you with the version of you that has the album already out.
part two. No.
Part two, that's fine. Part two, we can set it out. We can do a full demonstration on part
Yeah,
two.
that's so cool. Well, my last question before I want to make sure that we, share with the audience where they can find you and everything. But before we go there, the question I ask all of my guests is there a song or multiple songs that have saved or changed your life?
Yes, they gave me some messages. One of them was Kate Bush, A Man with a Child in His Eyes. It's a song that most people are not very common. It's a beautiful song. And that's exactly how I met my partner.
Mm.
I knew the song. Most American people are not familiar with that song.
Yeah.
And I knew that was going to be the person. And he did have a child in his eyes.
Oh, wow.
So that was and then he did a tape, and there are a few of them there that he was leaving me a message in the tape. So he gave me a tape, and every single word from the songs were selected. So there was a Carpenter song, there was a Bread song, a Leon Russell song, there was a jazz song. What's his name? Forgets the Hawaii. Oh, come to me, his name.
Okay.
And they were all had messages. So there's a few of them, but that first
Mm.
one was the opening one.
Of this like mixtape he made for you.
No, I
Oh,
when I met him, all of a sudden he knew the song when I put it on. And then I didn't know much about him. And then there was a child in his eyes. His focus was, and the song is A Man with a Child in His Eyes.
cool. So you knew when you heard that song that it was like
This is
giving
the
you.
person for me. Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that and also for sharing about your work. I know it's definitely powerful. It's and I think it sounds like really anyone can benefit from doing
Absolutely.
this and working with you. So, where can people find you? Where do you
Okay.
like to hang out online the most?
So they can come to my website, Tap Into Your Best Self. They get a complimentary session for half hour to see if this is a good fit or what their challenges are. There's nothing to sell if they don't like, they're free to go. I offer a 75 complimentary masterclass, Change Your Mind, Create New Results. And that is the course that Dr. Joe Dispenza used to teach
Mm,
that he no longer teaches. So I'm a certified trainer, and it's a very practical course if you want to embody his teachings and the practices that he used on himself to heal. So it's
cool.
pretty much an in depth live with a 90-day follow up program where you're going to get the benefits. And maybe you can't go to a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat.
Hmm.
You are getting the tools and the principles, how to
And
change your reality, pretty much.
he doesn't teach it because he has certified practitioners like
Christians.
you, right?
Yes. And this
Yeah.
was the one that he would go to corporations or individuals to teach. Now he does the week long.
Hmm.
So he just does the presentations and you meditate. There's 2,300 people. There's no way 2,300 people are going to be answering questions and doing the exercises. So when you want to break down what Dr. Joe teaches and take it to your home, this would be the only course that he has designed. So it's a
Very
wonderful
cool.
course. And it's something you're going to be doing for most of your life. After you finish, you get a journal. In this
Hmm.
case, you're going to get 3 journals. You keep on doing every day your exercises.
Yeah.
And it's basically kind of similar to what we did. What are my thought patterns? What am I feeling? What actions I'm not taking? And then who would I want to be? How
Hmm.
would I like to think, act, and feel? And what actions do I need to take? And what do I need to do to get there? But the feeling part is always in it, where EFT always comes in.
Awesome. And you said it's a 90-day course.
It's a 90-day course and it's not recorded and it's live.
Awesome. So are there certain times of the year that you like start it
No, I
or
can
okay.
customize it. The
Yeah.
person can have a one-on-one. I have certain dates that are on the website that we could do group and we can pick the times.
Cool.
So the teaching would be broken over 5 sessions within 2 weeks. So
Hmm.
2.5 to 3 hours.
Hmm.
That will give you the teaching material. And then there's the 90-day follow-up. And in that 90-day, you will get 7 sessions every 15 days. You will meet to review, and that's an hour session, so that's easy to schedule. You know, what are your challenges, what's not happening. If it's a one-on-one group, they also get a complimentary consult before to set their goals. I still will set the goals with the group,
Yeah.
just get more attention so they know what it is they want to get out of the course. The key
Cool.
here is not to take the course and put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
That's not why we teach it.
Well, there's just definitely, you know, the difference between learning something and embodying something is huge. And I've learned that, I've done a few different courses with people and unless you really get to the place of embodiment, you're never really going to see the full benefits.
Absolutely.
And then I think once you're there, you can also help to teach other people too, right? Because you're already seeing the results and I mean, that's how you got into this work.
That
So,
is.
yeah. So that's just so awesome that you offer that.
And they could see it online. And this is actually, when we look at certain companies, Cola was trained in this, Google was trained in this, IBM was trained in this.
Mm,
Now we're doing it with the Vietnam vets. We've gone to prisons. So if a prisoner can benefit, can you imagine an individual you? I mean, some prisoners have turned their life around. I mean,
amazing.
that's a horrible place to be.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very good course.
Mm,
And it's broken down and it will be in Dr. Joe's words for people to, no one will stay behind. Everyone will be able to grasp it.
awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sophia. It's been a pleasure to have you on this podcast. And for all the listeners out there, if you found this conversation valuable, please share with us what resonated, ask us your questions. I'll have all of your links, Sophia, down below and linked in all the places that you stream, listen, and watch this podcast. Was there anything else that I missed that you wanted to share with
No,
the
I
audience?
wanted to thank you. And I
Yeah.
wanted to say to everyone, no matter where you are, whether it's a health challenge, since we live in the multiverse, there's another version of you that is whole. There's another version of you that is happier.
Mm,
But when it comes to health, most people think that they have to heal this physical body.
mm.
You're not healing this physical body. You're moving to a parallel timeline that is whole. And regarding those traumatic memories, when you start healing, you move into a body that does not have those memories anymore. And that's what EFT and these teachings help you because you're pruning those synaptic connections. And now there's a new life story with that.
I love pruning and I don't know, I think of gardening. I've been really into gardening lately. But we want to bloom and flourish, right? So, yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So definitely check out Sophia's work and let us know what helped you from this episode. And until next week, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. Thank you.